السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لله الحمد رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين، وله الكبرياء في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. نحمده تعالى وهو جل وعلا، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة، فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي، وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, it is truly mind-boggling when we see the world rise up to face tyranny and aggression at different times. I don't know if the message reaches people late, or if something touches home that allows certain individuals to realize that truly something isn't right in our world. Nevertheless, fact is, we all know that our world today is one big mess. And there is an expectation on your shoulders, on behalf of the generation that's coming after you, that you all need to ensure that you clean up this mess. Why so? You caused it. How did you cause it? 3 ways. Number 1, by not doing what needed to be done. Number 2, by not stopping what shouldn't have been done. And number 3, which is the most crucial, by standing on the sidelines quietly, observing while our world was being torched and burnt. So what's happening now? There's a threat circulating, and that threat is you better be on the right side of history. Because tomorrow people will read about you, and people will say, what did you do? Just as when we read the Quran and its stories, we say, what was wrong with the people of Ad and Thamud? What was wrong with the people of Musa alayhi salam? Why couldn't they think logically that Musa alayhi salam was trying to take them out of the hand of the aggressor and the tyrant? Why couldn't the people of Ad and Thamud realize that God's blessings on them was by default? All they needed to do was express gratitude and appreciate what they had. What was wrong with them? Well, tomorrow the world will say, what was wrong with you and I? What side were you on? What were you doing? So as the threats are being made that you better be on the right side of history, we see that there is cries and calls globally. There are slogans and there are symbols. There are calls being made in different ways, shape, and form that we need to change course. This shouldn't come as a surprise. You can't come to an Imam or a counselor and say, my marriage of 20 years is breaking, when you haven't spent a year's worth in those 20 years making the marriage work. You can't just pick up a beautiful car from the dealership and discard filling up gas, doing an oil change, ensuring that the tire pressure is good, and assuming that the car is going to run as it's promised in that 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl forever. It doesn't work like that. So, it should not come as a surprise because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already stated that this is going to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the chapter of the Romans, verse number 41 states, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. He did not state, for those who understand Arabic language or linguistics, يظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. He said ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Corruption has appeared. He did not say corruption may appear, will appear in the future. He said it's appeared. It's already happened. Corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea. And as world leaders gathered in the United Nations earlier this week, this is exactly what they were talking about, climate change and taking care of our world. Allah is saying, too late. It's already happened. Why has it happened? Allah, you're doing things. Give us the understanding of your divine wisdom so we can comprehend what's happening. I think that's a fair call. بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ. Because of what your hands have earned. This is what we're earning. This is what we're working towards. The destruction of the world. Interesting. How so? Well, that's what this whole khutbah is about today. لِيُذِيقَهُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي عَمِلُوا لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. So that He may let them taste a part of the consequence of what's happening, so that they perhaps will return back to sanity, stability, spirituality, goodness, righteousness, God-fearing actions, upholding themselves to account before putting others to account. Maybe that might happen. So Allah has to show the cause and effect so that we may wake up and say, you know what, this has to stop. Not this has to stop, I need to stop. So once again, my dear brothers and sisters, at a time when everyone is now acknowledging one way or the other that our world is a big mess, and calls and cries, slogans and banners are being held up, stating what we desire, we need to understand this from a more deeper and spiritual perspective. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told us in this verse why it's happening. At a time of global corruption, you will see rise in actions, but you will also see simultaneously a fall in deeds. You will see a rise in actions, and you will see simultaneously a fall in deeds. So in today's sermon titled The Absence of Deeds in a World Full of Actions, I plan alongside all of you to make that ruju' ilallah, to make that turn back to Allah, which He is stating in this one verse. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide all of our hearts, to be instrumental in making that turn back to Him, so that we may truly rectify what's happening on this earth, and once again exemplify what needs to be done. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Now the two key words I want you to take home today is deeds and actions. What are deeds? Deeds are performances that are commanded by Allah, or they are various actions done solely for the pleasure of Allah. That is a deed. Let me summarize it in one word. A deed is a proactive measure. If you cannot understand or remember that a deed is something commanded by Allah or an action done solely for the pleasure of Allah, remember on this. A deed is a proactive measure. So, alhamdulillah, when you go for Hajj, many people are told the story of people getting sick and the cough and the virus and everything else. So they take antibiotics with them because they're scared if they get something, they want to start popping those pills. Fine. But there's some proactive measures you can do that insha'Allah you won't get sick at all. But no one talks about the proactive measures. They're preparing mentally that I'm going to get sick, and so when that happens, I will start taking my zithromycin or take my amoxicillin or Z-Pak, whatever it may be, I'll start taking those things. A deed, brothers and sisters, is called a proactive measure, and actions are usually knee-jerk reactions to other actions. Actions have a direct connection with the act itself, meaning a deed is proactive, an action is reactive. Actions never helped people before us. Doesn't matter how logical those actions seem to be in the eyes of the people. From Imam Bukhari, we get a story. And it's a very interesting story that relates to us what a thief, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and Abu Hurairah taught the entire ummah. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reports that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam put me in charge of looking after the dates that were given in Ramadan as charity for the poor. I hope you're all following me here. He has been put in charge for this big heap of dates that was given as charity for the poor. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, take care of it. That's all. You will stand at night on guard, ensuring that this is taken care of. That's your job. Now, the deed is the command to protect. That is called the proactive measure. Now what happened? All of a sudden during that night, an old man appeared and just walked up to the pile of dates. And sometimes people do things and you do it in such a normal fashion, you're like, am I awake here? What's going on? They walk into a store, just pick up a few things, pop open a store, drink it, and they walk out. And you're like, okay, like, does this guy know that they have to pay, or what happened? This man walked up in the same demeanor. They just walked in as if this was their own. He went up to the pile of dates. He started putting some into a bag, whatever else, and he's walking off. So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu grabbed him. He grabbed him, and he said, you're going to go to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the man cried and he said, I am a poor person. I'm hungry. I'm poor. I'm hungry. And I am in a dire need. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, compassion fell onto his heart, and he said, look, logically thinking, I'm told to protect these dates which are for poor people. And to my understanding, this man falls in the criteria of the poor people. So here, take it, go. Just go. The deed, which was a proactive measure, was take care of it. Your deed is to pray. You understand prayer or not, I don't care. You need to pray. Your deed is to recite the Quran every day. Your deed is to speak honestly and truthfully every day. Your deed is to give charity every day. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, a day should not pass, but you should give a charity for every limb of your body. But I don't understand it. It's not about understanding it. It's a proactive measure. You do it. Doesn't matter how logical the claim of Abu Hurairah will be tomorrow morning to Rasulullah ﷺ that look, this man was poor and I'm determined as your companion he should get something. It was an action. It was a reaction. It was a reactive measure. It wasn't the proactive measure of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So the morning came. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ comes up to him. He said, "Oh Abu Hurairah, what happened to your prisoner last night?" Now, he didn't get a push notification from BBC on his cell phone. Abu Hurairah gave a date, nor did he get a YouTube video, nor was he watching a security camera. He walked up to him and said, "What happened to your prisoner last night?" So I replied, he complained of poverty and need, so I felt sorry for him, so I let him go. I let him go. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he lied to you and he will be coming back. Your action was in vain. The person was a liar. The person is returning. Our reactions as ummah in the face of tyranny will not stop tyranny. It will only exacerbate the tyranny itself. It will come back. It will come back in different places, in different shapes, in different forms, until or unless أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. We go back to following what Allah and His Rasul want. Doesn't matter how irrelevant it may seem in your eyes. Because this is not a reaction, it is a proactive measure. And I want you all to remember the hadith if I forget it. أفضل الكلام كلمة حق عند سلطان جائر. The best word is to speak the truth in front of a tyrant ruler. I want you to remember this hadith, because today's khutbah will put that in its right context. So the next night, I knew he would come back. So I stood there guard, and the man came and began to take from the pile of dates without permission. So I grabbed him and I said to him, I'm taking you to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, look, my children are hungry. I am poor. We have a need. My family is suffering. You can't do this to my kids. You may have some problem with me, and I'm just elaborating now on his words. You may have some problem with me, but these are my children. I have children to feed. So again, it hit his logic and mind that, you know what, there is a greater need than just the individual. So I let him go. In the morning, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Abu Hurairah, what happened to your captive last night?" I said, "Ya Rasulullah, he complained not just of his poverty, but the need of his family." So I let him go. Rasulullah ﷺ said, he lied to you and he's coming back. Brothers and sisters, all I can say is wake up. The distraction of this world is taking you down a road that we are normalizing actions and we are discarding and destroying and depleting deeds. It may not make sense to you today, but just if you can, remember my words. Every step forward towards reactive measures is another step towards our collective destruction. So I waited again that night. and he came and then he began to take from the pile of dates. I stopped him and I said to him, I'm definitely taking to Rasulullah because this is the third time you've come. You said you would not come. You promised this was the last time. This is the third time you're going to the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, leave me and I will teach you some special words with which Allah will benefit you greatly. Why should we not stand behind certain people because they talk good about Muslims? Why should we not support certain individuals? And I'm not going to go into politics or anything, so I'm going to speak very vague. Why shouldn't we support them and stand by them? Because they care for us. Our Allah cares about us more than anyone on this earth, but we don't care about Allah. Our Allah loves us more than anyone on this earth. All the people want are your votes. Where have we gone? Where have we gone? I'll teach you something. You love knowledge? I'll teach you something. What is it? Remember, Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala, the third time now, is discarding the deed and he's following the action. The action is a reaction to not only his mental state, but his spiritual manipulation. I'm going to teach you something. Teach me. I love to learn. Look about this. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala is the one who used to lie down unconscious between the mihrab and the mimbar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People used to come and put their foot on his neck because they thought he was having like an epileptic seizure and they didn't want him to swallow his tongue. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, this was not a seizure. I was hungry. But I sat in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam so I can learn from him. He wasn't a poor man. He wasn't a bum on the street. He was someone who has narrated to us thousands of hadith. Thousands. Alongside with Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, one of the greatest compilers of hadith is Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala. And here he's being told, I'll teach you religion. When he has been learning religion from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you understand what's happening? We will represent your faith. We will take care of you. We will stand by you. When Allah and His Rasul were standing for you before you even existed. He said, when you go to sleep every night, recite verse number 255 of Surah Baqarah, which I'm telling you, which is Ayatul Kursi. He said, when you go to sleep at night, recite Ayatul Kursi, and if you do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will appoint an angel over you as a protector, and no shaitan or devil can ever come close to you till the morning. And look at this. Look at this. This man is teaching and reminding Abu Hurairah, "Oh Abu Hurairah, why have you failed? The power of deed surpassed the power of your actions. The power of a deed surpassed the power of your actions. You recite Surah Fatiha as a deed, which is a proactive step, and Allah will protect you. You do not recite Surah Ayatul Kursi when your house is burned down, or when Allah, your house is robbed. You recite it to protect yourself from it." This man is teaching him what was wrong with you. A deed, a proactive measure is what you should have been doing all along. So I let him go. In the morning, the Prophet ﷺ said to me, "Oh Abu Hurairah, what happened to your captive last night?" I said, "Ya Rasulullah, he told me that if I let him go, he would teach me some special words. And Allah will benefit me from those words." So the Prophet ﷺ said, long story short, "Indeed, he has told you the truth. I.e., Ayatul Kursi is the greatest protection, but he is still the greatest liar." Do you know, O Abu Hurairah, for the last 3 days who you've been conversing with? He says, "No, Ya Rasulullah, it's an old man." He said, "That was shaitan. That was shaitan. That was shaitan." Shaitan was teaching you and I, oh my fellow brothers and sisters, that how he will take you away from deeds and he will make actions more conducive, alluring to your eyes, something that will mesmerize you, and then you will use the pulpits of Islam and say, we should do this, and not that we should turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu did what was logical. He did what he felt was needed. His action was the right response to the situation itself, but it came in the exchange of a deed. Islam doesn't say deprive a poor person. Islam doesn't say let someone who is desperate in need die on the street. He did what was right, but he did it in exchange of a deed. He could have said, I will give you, wait till the morning, the Prophet ﷺ will be here, he will give you from his blessed hands. No, I'll give you. So when he did an action in compromising a deed, he lost. Our environment today is being robbed. Humanity is being rounded up into camps. Bloodshed and war has become the norm. What is our action? I can't talk about our deeds. What are our actions? We want to protest. We want to contest. We want to cry foul. We want to challenge those committing such heinous acts. What have we got? What have we changed? As we scream in the heat, they are comfortably sitting in their houses and palaces with their security doing what they want. Actions today are more than ever, deeds are lesser than ever before. Deeds have no external connection with the problem. It has a connection with the controller of all problems. In correlation with any situation, deeds never made sense itself. Musa alayhi salam was on the verge of death with his people. Hitting the water with the staff was a deed, not an action. Allah said, hit the staff on the water. Which sane-minded person seen in their life, you hit a staff on water and water gives you a path? Logically, it's impossible. It is bogus. But spiritually, Allah knows what you don't know. He could have turned around and fought Fir'aun in his army. Or he could have told his people, let's all jump into the water and die drowning. He said, no. Inna ma'iya Rabbi. Allah is with me. Allah told me, hit your staff, O Musa. He hit his staff. Channels open up in the Red Sea. And it will never open up till the Day of Judgment. That water will flow to the Day of Judgment. It only became dry once. And that was for Musa alayhi salam and his people. Ibrahim alayhi salam was told to leave his family where no one could live. How she survived, how she endured those pains was through deeds, not through actions. My dear brothers and sisters, I really can't say, standing here, to stop doing what we're doing and start doing something else. All I'm saying is, do what we're supposed to do first, while upholding and not compromising our deeds, and then doing our actions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with us all on this earth at a time when everything is blurred and everything is wrong. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Brothers and sisters in Islam, revival of deeds is turning back to Allah. Discarding of deeds is believing in your actions. How do we revive deeds? Let us understand a few mental pointers. Number one, deeds are not viral acts. We will not see a time, unfortunately, in our ummah where the ummah as a whole will do deeds together. To stand up for tahajjud together and pray like we pray Salatul Jum'ah is not going to happen. But there will be those actions that are not viral. Those are deeds. Deeds will be done and then the outcome will make sense, not vice versa. Number three, you need to believe in the process of deeds more than you anticipate the outcome from deeds. Number four, the struggle today through deeds will pay off for your children tomorrow. If you care about your children and grandchildren, go back to deeds, and inshallah, Allah will preserve generations to come. And lastly, deeds change the world, while the absence of deeds will plague our world. What are some of the action items we can take away from understanding deeds are a proactive measure while actions are a reactive measure? A few things. Number one, brothers and sisters, know that Allah's commands cannot be compromised. When you or anyone in your home misses a prayer, 40 houses around are struck with ill omen. When you recite Ayatul Kursi, Allah protects your house, your neighbor's house, and houses around you. If you don't see the result of it, keep doing it. Allah is actually upholding certain results because of it. Number two, bring Allah into your actions, before your actions, during your actions, and after your actions. You want to go protest? Go protest. Read your Quran and fast before you go protest. Take the name of Allah and pray while you're protesting. And pray to Allah for acceptance when you come back from protesting. If Allah is void from your voices being said, then know that Allah is not with you. Kalimatu haqqin inda sultanin ja'ir. To speak the truth in front of a tyrant king means exactly this. That your actions and your demeanor uphold what is right in the face of a tyrant who doesn't want to see you doing this. This is the speaking of the truth. It is not a word, it is an action. It is not threatening, it is a reminder. It is not something that will push people apart. Rather, it will melt the heart of a tyrant and hopefully bring them closer also. So brothers and sisters, let us, at a time when the clock is not going to change for one more month, revive the practice of tahajjud. Fajr prayer starts very late now. Start praying tahajjud. A day cycle is 13 hours. Start fasting. And last but not least, brothers and sisters, revive the practice of the Holy Quran. Bring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala back and let Allah take care of the affairs of this earth. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who showed us through his example that what we are reminded actually works. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad abdika wa rasulika an-nabiy al-ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام وأنصاره وأذل الشرك وأشراره. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى واجعل آخرتنا خيرا من الأولى. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight, shoulder to shoulder. Please move forward swiftly and fill in the gaps to ensure the line that we're standing is complete, so those who are behind us may enter the hall and fill in the remainder gaps.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة